Hey everyone. I know it's been forever since I've come on here. I'm sorry. I had babies and it's been crazy, and honestly, planning and journaling has kind of been so erratic for me. I think it is for everyone, and so I wasn't really comfortable filming on like a setup or like what I'm doing because it was changing a lot in 2020 and 2021 and 2022. But for 2023, I've been pretty stable on what I've been using, and I'll show you a couple different things. But for the most part, I've been using this guy, and honestly, it's been working out. And I can show you also, I'm planning on doing another video on what I'm doing for next year, but I kind of wanted to go over what I've been doing for this year, just in case it kind of helped people as they start looking at their plans for next year. So I want to say, I do want to say something. I know there's been a lot of talk about consumerism and versus minimalism, and also just planner hopping and constantly changing your mind about things, and how, hey, that's okay too. Like, some people, their system can be, evolved into other different sizes and different formats and stuff, and then other people should really be sticking to one or two books or systems. And then there's always that debate on like different types of planners and journals. Now you've got the new commonplacing. Well, not new, actually, it's pretty old. It's like from the 1600s or something, but people are bringing it back. And then there's also like, I know a lot of the same people who are on PlannerTube and all that are also on BookTube and Bookstagram. So I know that a lot of people have like reading journals and stuff like that. And then there's tarot journals, spiritual journals, faith journals, Bible journaling. And then there's also, there's like a million different aspects of this community. And I think we should really understand that we should allow people to really explore what they need. And I think 2020 through 2022, that's what I did. I kind of just let myself shift systems. I figured out that rings doesn't work for me, disc doesn't work for me. Traveler's notebooks do work, but it's a little different for me. And then, so you should let people do what they want to do. I don't think we should be, gatekeeping or like gate holding, I guess. I don't know. We shouldn't hold people back from doing what is most comfortable for them. Now, the opposite side of that is that planner consumerism, where people are just buying planners just to have them, and they play with them for like a few hours, and then they just kind of toss them in their closet and they never look at them again, which is fine. And I think her name is Rachel something on YouTube, and she's really, really good. I really like watching her videos because she breaks things down in a really good way. So I'll put her link below on who I'm talking about, but basically she's right. I mean, we consume so much as it is, and like, I don't think we should necessarily be just wasting away like precious money, paper, ink, stickers, like all of that. It costs the environment something, and it costs us something, right? So what I really tried to do this year was I put myself on sort of a budget of, hey, I'm not going to spend more than X amount of money per month on stationery items. And that includes everything stationery. That includes, stickers, washi, pens. Pens is a big one, whenever you want to try out a new pen because so-and-so said that this pen is the best for this paper. But, and then paper, notebooks, planners, covers. Planner covers is such a huge investment too, which I know you're looking at right now and being like, oh, what is that cover? so I really put myself on a really harsh budget this year because the last 3 years, 2020, 21, and 22, I spent crazy amounts of money on stationery and I was never happy. I was constantly planner hopping. I was constantly journal hopping. All of my stuff was everywhere and it was getting way too crazy. I also had a baby this year, so of course my budget had to change anyway. So I thought it was just easier to give myself a set amount of money that I can spend. And honestly, throughout the year, I didn't even reach that some months because it was just like I told myself to stop trying to do what everyone else is doing on Instagram and YouTube. Like I would still watch the videos and look at the posts and watch the stories, but I told myself, hey, if you want it next month, then you can spend your budget on it next month or whatever. For instance, my budget this year was $50 a month, right? Like I won't spend more than $50 a month. And I ended up not really spending that much throughout the year. Like I'll show you what I got this year, or maybe I'll just mention it. I don't know if I want to show everything because I sold some stuff and stuff. But I told myself I wouldn't spend anything over 50, and then I also would de-stash before I spent any money on new covers or planners. So I've been constantly de-stashing, I've been constantly selling, and I really, really think about what I'm buying before I buy it. So this year, I only had one planner change. Like I only hopped planners once, and it was in the very beginning of the year. It was in January of 2023. So this is all of the stuff that I bought this year, not including pens and stickers and washi because I didn't really buy much of that. I did buy a couple pens here and there, but again, I always stuck to that budget. But these are the actual things. Well, these I didn't buy this year, but these are what I was messing around in. But these are the things that I bought for 2023. Now, a couple of these I actually bought in 2022 in order to prepare for 2023, like this, and this I bought in 2022. But I tried to really think in 2022 December of like what I really wanted to do, right? And how I normally plan. So these are the covers I usually stuck to. These covers are all I stuck to for the most part. This also I bought, but I never ended up actually using it, and I'm actually giving this away as a gift to I actually had two of them. I gave one to my brother who is a Marine in Japan, and then the other one I'm going to be giving away to another family member. So I'm counting this as a gift and not as something that I bought for myself. So yeah. Now, going back, these are kind of what I started the year with. Let me put these here. Okay, so in December of 2022, I was really struggling between week size and standard size. I mean, that is constantly what I'm struggling with, right? Everything that I want is basically between these two, right? A bound book versus a traveler's notebook, and size being a narrow week on one page, right? That's what I always want. So I started the year thinking, okay, if I set up the Sweet Freckles Design weekly diary and have it ready to go for the whole year, if I date it and everything, and I can use the back as a journal, you know. So my problem with doing this one, and the reason why I stopped before I even started 2023, was because the paper and something about the feeling of it was not working for me. I started using it, I dated a couple things, and I just got tired of trying to date it, and it wasn't looking right, so I just kind of left it before I even really started 2023. So that's why this one right here is now my notes notebook, where I'm just practicing layouts and I take notes and do work stuff in there sometimes. So I'm still like keeping it because I don't want to toss it. It's still a good notebook. I just didn't want to use it, right? So what I started the year with, what I started the year with was this setup, right? It was a Moterm Simple Traveler's Notebook, and it only had 2 inserts in there. It had this, which was a planner, or it's a Planner Monkey Co. standard size freely planned, which means it has the months in the front and then it has the blank pages in the back. And what I did was I set up the year, I did the monthlies, and then this is how I was setting up the weeklies. I was drawing out, see, I started it back in December of last year, about a year ago, right? Yeah, exactly a year ago. So this is my favorite layout, by the way. This is what I just love. It's the boxed days of the week on one side and then a memo page on the right. I just love this, and it really was working. So during November and December is a very busy time for me, right? Because obviously there's all the holiday stuff. I was also pregnant, so I was doing ultrasounds and OB appointments and all that. I had to take notes. I was doing a lot of stuff around the house before, like, to get ready for the baby. And so it was working. And, you know, I got to basically when the baby was born, and I stopped. The baby was born on January 16th, and I just stopped because I was like, this is just too much. Like, I can't, you know, I can't keep up with such a big planner. Like, standard size was just too big for me. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's so good. And I was journaling in a Paper Penguin Co. notebook. So I really did love standard size, and I love this traveler's notebook, and I see myself going back into standard size whenever my life gets busier, but right now it's like I have to keep things as simple as possible. I have to be as streamlined as possible in order to get things done, right? So that's why the standard size didn't work for me. And like I said, come January 16th, I realized, I was like, okay, this is too big. This is just too much space for everything. So then what I did was I went into this. So what this is it's kind of complicated to explain. This is a Stalogy half year A5 that I cut down to week size, right? It was a half year and I cut it down to week size. And then what I also had was a Planner Monkey Co. notebook, a 192 page notebook, right, from Planner Monkey Co. And I had them together. And what I did was I ordered this, and like I said, the whole $50 budget thing, this is what I ordered back in December of last year, and it just came to me in January of, so it just happened to come in at the same time. This was my Christmas present from my husband. So it was an Eternal Leather Goods Weeks cover that I asked him to widen and put a traveler's notebook string in it, right? So, and I absolutely love this cover. I use this cover all year long this year. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. It's the black color and it has the delicious pebbles and it has the strap. It has a pen loop. And it's got the, I guess, nomad pocket layout, right? So I love this cover. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. And so what I did was I put both notebooks in the traveler's notebook and it was ready to go. And I used this thing. I mean, I loved it. I really, really used it. I didn't have a lot of time to journal, so I'll say that. I did journal a little here and there, but with 2 babies, I just didn't have a ton of time to journal, and that's okay. Like, there's seasons for everything, right? There's a season for journaling where I'm journaling 4 or 5 pages every single day, and then there's seasons where I just don't really journal that much. So, anyway, so when I decided that the standard size wasn't working for me, I was like, okay, back to week size, right? I have a Hobon Weeks for 2023 and I just never used it. I never ever used it, so I gave it to someone. I gave it to my sister-in-law. So The reason why I don't use a Hobon Weeks anymore, by the way, is because that cream paper and the little quotes at the bottom was just getting on my last nerve. I've used the Hobon Weeks consistently pretty much for like 6 years, okay? I stuck it out. Before all the companies started coming out with Hobon Weeks stuff, before they started coming out with stickers, I was on it, okay? And after 5 years, I needed something different. I needed more flexibility and I needed more notes pages because I would always get this like mentality of like, oh, I'm not gonna have enough notes pages at the end of the year, so I might as well just not even use them. So that's why a traveler's notebook really always appeals to me, by the way, because you can always just switch out the inserts once you, anyway. But the reason why I don't love using a traveler's notebook all the time is because it doesn't lay completely flat, and that bugs the crap out of me. So I knew it needed to be a notebook. I had a Stylogy half year ordered, and then I just cut it down. So I backplanned a little bit, but I mostly started using this after the baby got here, and the exact same layout, right? The boxed weekly and then the memo page, right? And I was actually using my planner. It was so simple. Okay, when I tell you how simple it was, it's not even a joke. I used 0 stickers other than like these little day stickers, date stickers from Randy.Plans. Other than that, I barely used stickers. And there were some weeks where I just didn't really plan that much because I just didn't have a ton going on, or honestly, I might have been experimenting in another planner or something like that, but this was always there for me, okay? I always had the ability to come back to this guy. And there were some weeks where I was so busy with just life and kids that I just didn't even plan, really. Like, I didn't need to. So my main thing usually is like, I need to have a central location for my husband's work schedule, my to-do list for the week, my habit tracker, and like a basic appointments area, right? I don't even use a monthly. I put a couple monthlies in here, but I just wasn't really using them, honestly. I need that week. I just need to see the week upcoming, right? So this is what I have been using pretty much this entire year. And it's been working out so well. I love this size. For planning, for journaling, I don't love it. I wish there was a little more width. My favorite size, to be completely honest, is this size. It's a basic slim. The basic slim size is just the best size in my opinion, but unfortunately there's just not a lot of planner companies that make basic slim planners that are the type of planner that I want, which is like a week on one page, which is fine. I could print out my own planner, and I really did think about doing that, especially for 2023. I print out my own planner, put my own journal, but again, it would be a traveler's notebook probably, which would mean that it wouldn't sit completely lay flat most of the time. Like, you'd have to like really work it in. So if there's a company out there watching this, basic slim size in a week on one page would be fantastic. Also, why don't more companies have this layout? I want to know, why don't they have this layout? Okay, because let me tell you, you can have almost like a vertical style of planning, but keep it on one page, and it's not like timed so that you don't have to worry about the hourly format. I just don't understand why more companies don't come out with this style of planning. But hey, I'm gonna get off my soapbox and just, whatever. Now, this has been working so well that a couple weeks ago, I really wanted to basically get out of the traveler's notebook style, because again, it wasn't laying flat. If I wanted a journal, blah, blah, blah. So I did something kind of crazy and I basically ripped up the covers of both of my notebooks, of the Planner Monkey Co. notebook and the Stalogy notebook. And I just cut the cover, the front and back covers off, and I just glued. And it's two different styles of paper, okay? This is Tomoe River paper and this is Stalogy paper, but I just really wanted everything in one book. So I cut them and I taped it and I glued the pages together. Now, this looks like crap, okay? Like, if you were here, it does not look good. It's not aesthetically pleasing at all. Like, look at that. But I don't care, okay? This is working and I love it. And I don't care if it's aesthetically pleasing. I don't care that it's not cut well. It doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's amazing and it's working and I'm obsessed with it. And I've been sticking to one cover and one book. Not one pen, but I do really like this pen. It's the Uniball one in 0.38. I find that it works really well with both Tomoe River and Stalogy, so I've been sticking to this. And I did buy one fountain pen just to try it again, and I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't know why, because it would probably help a lot of my issues, but I just don't like it. I don't know why. I think I like journaling in it, but I don't like planning with it. And I need one pen usually when I'm out and about. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so this is what's been working for me. Let me know if you have any questions. I know this was a long, really rambling planner chat, but I figure, hey, why not? Other planners I did try and experiment in. I got this for free. It is the B6 Common Planner Part 2. Like, this was July to December because I wanted to try for work time tracking. And honestly, I don't like it. I don't like vertical planning. I did try for personal time too, but I did the week, both weeks, you know. This was back in August. I tried and I just don't like it. I'm also intermittent fasting, so I figured I could just track all my movement and my diet and all that, but it's just not my favorite way of planning. I don't think like this. I don't think according to time. I think more like according to like a list. I'm more of a list daily, not even a daily list, more of a weekly list type person. And this is not enough space for me to make a weekly list and habit tracker, you know? So that's why this wasn't really working, but I got it for free and I figured I would try it. And I really, really like the paper, even though it's the same paper. It's Tomoe River paper, but something about this paper is just different than the Hobonichi. I don't know why. I really like it though. So now I'm using it as work. I'm using it for work notes and meeting notes, and that's great because then it doesn't go to waste again. And once it's done, I didn't pay money for it, so I'm good. How did I get it for free? I asked someone on Instagram. I was talking to her and she was like, oh, I have another one, I'll give it to you for free. So that's how that worked. I paid for shipping. Another thing I bought was a Planner Monkey Co. 400-page notebook because I figured I could do the exact same thing as this, right? I could create this planner, write in all the dates, make my layout, put my monthlies in the front because they won't get used anyway, but put them in there. And I figured for 2024, I could just create my own planner, right? And journal in the back exactly the same way as I've been doing in here. But I was thinking that I don't want to date the whole year. I just don't want to. And the stickers cause this little bump ridge. And I was like, oh, whatever. I might still do it. And it's undated, which is really great. So I can just do it for 2025 if I really want to. But obviously, you know, there's a lot of other options. So we'll see. If my current plan for 2024 doesn't work out, I will have this to fall back on. Okay. Another thing I bought was stuff to faith journal. Okay. And I'm still figuring this out. I want to start a prayer journal, take notes while I'm reading scripture and stuff. So I bought a A5 Stalogy that I cut down to standard size. I do like the concept of it, but again, standard size is just a little too big for me. If they had and you know, it might be one day where I get the B6 Stylogy and I cut it down to B6 Slim, and that would be perfect. I don't know. But standard size is just a little too big for me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this for notes for next year for work once this one is filled up. So I can still use it for notes. I can always use notebooks, you know. That's why I really like getting notebooks instead of planners, is because you can always use it for something else, you know. Or you can just redate your planners. Monique on YouTube and Instagram, I'll link her below. She is really like the queen of using different things for different people, or different planners for different purposes, and like redating and stuff. I also bought this on Amazon, which is really cute. It's a B6 size spiral notebook with these soft rings. So when I'm writing on a spiral notebook, the whole thing of like this really bugs me. So the soft ring is so nice. It's so nice to use as a faith journal. And I could still do this, but it's only 160 pages, and I don't think that that would take me very far. See, I put it for like 5 months, which is just kind of, I don't know. So still an option to use as a faith journal, but I don't know. And then these are the covers that I kept after like destashing everything. These are the covers I've got. And honestly, I could see myself always jumping back and forth between these, so I don't think it's that big of a deal to have a couple of them. I don't think I would be upset if I tossed them or anything. Like, this one maybe was a little pricey, but other than that, like, I got all of these a long time ago or very used, and they have been used, and I think that that's okay. So these I just used to house last year's and the previous year's inserts and stuff. So that's what I am up to. I will film another video here in a little bit on what my tentative plans are for 2024. We'll see if I actually stick to them, but so far I'm loving this system. And I encourage you, like, if you feel the need to constantly buy a new planner or a new system or try something out, just get a blank notebook and just do it like yourself, because then you can really, really test out different layouts and different sizes and stuff. And that way the notebook itself, you don't have to throw it away if it didn't work out, because you could just use the blank pages at the back for notes, you know. Or you could even rip out, like, I ripped out some of the Planner Monkey Co. pages, and I just have them on my desk for my daughter to use as like drawing scratch paper. Whenever she comes in here and she's like, Mommy, I want to draw, I just let her draw on this, you know, so it doesn't have to go to waste. Anyway, that is what I wanted to chat about. I will be back for the next video. If you like this, if you want to hear more ramble, just subscribe to my channel and, you know, hit the like button, I guess, and, you know, all that jazz. But thanks so much, girls and guys and everyone in the planner and journal community. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.